I don't know if this is a term already, but I'm calling it secondhand suicide. And what this means to me, because I haven't found a definition explaining it, is when someone wants to die, but they won't commit suicide. So they don't want to live anymore, but they're too afraid to commit suicide. Mostly because, well, the people they're going to be leaving behind. But also the blame is placed on them because they, by their own hand, took their life. So secondhand suicide is where you won't do it to yourself, but it's almost like you're hoping that something else will do it for you. A deadly disease, a car crash, something that is outside of your control, so that you can go on with yourself and everybody that's left behind doesn't have to feel like they could have done something different.
I'm sure that video touched a few of you as it touched me. Let's talk a little bit about programming with this. Omega programming, MK Ultra Mind Control Omega programming, Super Soldier Black Awakening programming, Self-Destruct Apoptosis programming, where you will self-destruct. See, the goal is to either get you to commit suicide yourself or for them to drive you insane. It doesn't matter as long as they get it done. That's their game. So we have to override that. You can't fall for that, because what's going to happen is you will find yourself being triggered by people, and you'll say something or do something that could unknowingly bring harm to yourself. So you're not self-destructing yourself where you're physically removing yourself from the picture, but you're pissing off people enough to where someone else might. So you got to be very careful of the programming, because you don't want to fall for the, tricks. So especially you military personnel and my former super soldiers, you might be familiar with the Omega of which I speak. Here's a site I've shared several times, but I'll drop the link again. It has to do with levels of programming. So specifically, I just wanted to point out on here, where it says Monarch programming at the top, as you can see. But what I'm looking at are the names. So it says they have Alpha, general programming, Beta, sexual programming, Delta, instructions on killing during ceremonies, Theta, psychic killing, Omega, suicide and self-destruct programming, as well as self-mutilation. And then we have Zeta, which is snuff films, and Omicron, which is generally drug smuggling. So number 1, recognize. Recognize you may have an issue. 2, acknowledge said issue. 3, deal with it, cope with it, find coping tools. 4, don't run out that motherfucking door. Stay in your head, stay solid, deal with it, and don't run. See, because people in programming will tend to disassociate at this point and run off because they don't want to deal with it, because it's too painful or too hard. Don't do it. Don't run, you guys. Just stay. Deal with it so that you don't have to deal with it later on down the line.